students, welcome to the video lecture series on Chemical Engineering Thermodynamics 2. I am Jamin Pandya, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department of LJIET Institute of Engineering and Technology. So let's continue with the chapter number 2, which is a solution thermodynamics. Part 2 of this chapter number 2, which is a solution thermodynamics application. So we are going to discuss about the solution thermodynamics application, in which we are going to discuss about the thermodynamic consistency test by the integral or area test method. So there are various consistency tests which are used for the find out the data is correct or not. For design of equipment related to process industry and laboratory, good design accuracy is required. So therefore it is important to test thermodynamic consistency of vapor liquid equilibrium data is correct or not. The test of consistency usually made on basis of Gibbs-Duhem equation in term of the activity coefficient. So there are various models which are used to find out the consistency test. So there are mainly 5 types of method which are used to find out the consistency, such as using flow of Allen gamma curve. Second method is that using data at midpoint. Third, which is Zetlitz-Kister method. Zetlitz-Kister method, which also known as the area test method or zero test method. Okay. Then fourth method, which is a coexisting equation method, and fifth method is a partial pressure method. But these three methods are widely used in chemical engineering thermodynamics too. So we are going to discuss about this integral method or area test method in detail. So let's first discuss about the Allen gamma curve method. Okay, so let's discuss about the Allen gamma curve method. The Gibbs-Duhem equation in this is our first method. So the Gibbs-Duhem equation in term of the activity that can be given by, or can say that in term of the activity model that can be given by del Allen gamma 1 upon del x1 is equal to x2 del ln gamma 2 upon del x2. Now rearranging this equation, we will get the x1 del ln gamma 1 upon del x1 is equal to minus 1 minus x1 del ln gamma 2 upon del x1. So putting the value of x1, we will get the value of del ln gamma 2. So I am just replacing this x2 with 1 minus x1, because x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. So can say that x2 is equal to 1 minus x1. So I am just replacing this x2 with 1 minus x1 and replacing this del x2 with del x1, not x2. This is the x1. So it becomes minus here. Okay. Why minus? Because del x2 is equal to minus del x1. That's why I'm just replacing this del x2 with x1. Okay. So if we are going to plot the graph of this particular component versus, or can say that graph for the ln gamma or activity versus the mole fraction, which is represented by x, then we can find the particular data is correct or not. To understand this, let's consider this graph in which this is a value. Sorry. So this graph that can be given by like this, where on x-axis there will be a mole fraction and on y-axis activity coefficient in a logarithmic form. So this is look like this, and okay, so this is for ln gamma 2 and this is for ln gamma 1. So to find out data is correct or not, there will be a two assumption. First assumption is that if one of the ln gamma curve has a maximum or minimum at certain concentration range, and other curve should be a minimum or maximum at same point. Okay, so if ln gamma 1 is a maximum at x1 is equal to zero point 0.1, then at same point ln gamma 2 is a have to minimum value at same x1 is equal to 1. So this is one method where we can find data is correct or not. So if these assumptions or these criteria fulfilled by the graph, then our data is correct, otherwise data is incorrect. And second assumption is that both value of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2, it must be a positive or it must be a negative. Okay, so if both have same value, positive or negative, then we can say that the data is correct or not. To understand this, let's consider this graph. At this graph we can see that the value of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 is a positive. So this data is a consistent data. So this data is a consistent and correct data. Now let's suppose the second graph that may be represent like this, where ln gamma and ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 represent on y axis and mole fraction on x axis. This is our zero line. Okay, so here we are going to see this is value of ln gamma 1 and this is value of ln gamma 2. So here value of ln gamma 1 is a positive. Okay, but here value of ln gamma 2 is a negative. So here no same value, where here the value of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 both are positive. So this type of data is known as a inconsistent data, where this type of data is known as a consistent data. Similarly, for negative, if the value, let's suppose this is a zero line and ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 represent like this, then both have negative value. So can say that this graph, this type of graph have a consistent data. Okay, or can say that correct data. Similarly, second assumptions, this is we are just talking about the second assumptions. Now let's discuss about the first assumptions. First assumptions told that if value of particular component is a maximum, then at same concentration range other component have a minimum value. So let's draw the graph for this ln gamma versus x 0 to 1. Okay, so let's suppose there will be a value of this ln gamma 1 that represent like this. Now if I am going to plot the graph of ln gamma 2, which look like this. Okay, so let's suppose this is a maximum value and this is a minimum value. Okay, so this is our minimum value and these both are live at this point 3. Okay, value of this x is a 0.3. So here value of, let's consider this is ln gamma 1 and this is ln gamma 2. So here value of ln gamma 1 is a positive. Here value of ln gamma 2 is a positive and negative also. Okay, so we cannot say this data is inconsistent, because the here we can see that value of this at zero point 0.3, where value of x is a 0.3, ln gamma 1 is a maximum. Okay, at same point ln gamma 2 is a minimum. So this criteria is fulfilled by this graph. So we can say that this data is a consistent. So we cannot say this data is a inconsistent. Okay, so this is how we can predict the particular data is consist or inconsist, or data is correct or not correct, using the this method, or can say that using this gamma ln gamma curve method. Now let's discuss about the using midpoint method. Okay, So midpoint method that can be used for the testing the thermodynamic consistency of really the integration form of Gibbs-Duhem equation like Van Laar or Margulis equation are same found by very convenient in form of this equation like ln gamma 1 upon b is equal to ln gamma 2 upon a is equal to a into b upon a plus b whole square. Okay, so here there will be a three case. In case 1, value of a is equal to value of b. So we will get the midpoint of particular component. Then data is consistent. Second case, case 2. This is for case 1 and this is for case 3, where a is greater than b. The integral of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 or intersection of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 must be from a side. When a is large, then interaction of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 at a side. If value of b is greater than a, then interaction of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 must be at b side. Okay, so to understand this, let again consider one graph so you can clearly understand what we are going to discuss here. So let's consider this is a graph in which on x-axis there will be a activity ln gamma and on y-axis there will be a mole fraction. Okay, this is a midpoint which is a zero point 0.5. Now if a value of a and b are the same and we will get the value of a particular ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 is like this. So interaction of this ln gamma 1 and this ln gamma 2 at midpoint. Okay, when the a is equal to b and we are getting this type of graph where interaction at point 2, then our data is consistent. But for same, if we are getting let's suppose there is a graph where value of a is equal to b, but we are getting some interaction of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 like this, then data is a not inconsistent data, where this is a consistent data. Okay, this is just for the component case 1 where a is equal to b. Now let's suppose for the if a is greater than b, so if a is greater than b, the interaction of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 must be at a side. So let's consider this is a midpoint 0 to 1. This is the ln gamma, this is the ln gamma 1 and this is ln gamma 2 curve. Now here let's suppose a is greater than b, then interaction of this is the interaction, so this is a side. Okay, let's consider this is a side, this is a b side. So a side b side that can be defined from the this composition. If this composition written for a, so this 0 to 1 is for a and it becomes 1 to 0. Okay, so if value of a is greater than 1, then interaction must be at a side. If we are getting interaction at this side, then data is incorrect. Similarly, for b greater than a, the interaction at we have to get interaction at b side of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2, then data is consistent, otherwise data is inconsistent. Now let's discuss about the third method, which is our last method, which is known as the Redlich-Kist method or RK method or zero area test method or integral test method. Okay, so here we are going to discuss about this integral test method, in which we can define the particular data is correct or not. To understand this, let's consider there will be a graph. Okay, so and this is a zero line. Now if we are getting value of ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2 like this, okay, ln gamma 1 and ln gamma 2, let's suppose this is the same size of here. So if we get same area of ln gamma curve covered by the ln gamma curve and same area covered by the ln gamma 2, then we can say that data is a consistent, otherwise data is a inconsistent. So if we get the total area covered by this both compound is a 0, if we are going to do ln gamma 1 minus ln gamma 2 is equal to 0, then our data is a consistent, otherwise data is a inconsistent. So this is how we can find the zero area test method or data is consistent or not. So this is all about the today's lecture. I am completing my lecture here. Thank you.